Welcome back. South African girls and young women need role models who understand their struggles, and there are many in this country right now. We need to see your potential and believe in your dreams. We are joined in studio by Zonja Penzhorn from non-profit company Shout It Now, who is shouting it for all of us, hopefully, to take on board this morning to share a very honest appraisal of the current situation facing our girls and women, and I stress girls, young girls, and the work that Shout It Out is doing right now. 16 days of activism cannot be 16 days of activism. It needs to be every single day, a notion that is driven home on every level of life, socioeconomically, and I think especially when it comes to young girls, by other young girls and women. We need to get an understanding of what's going on. Zonja, thank you so much for being here. Maybe a good place to start for you. How do you approach 16 days of activism? What is your focus over this time?
Well, I think finally during the whole year, you know, during these 16 days, there's a spotlight on a 365-day issue which has grown to epidemic proportions. So that's really what it means to us, and there's an opportunity to speak about it and the real situation. As Shout It Now, we do HIV and gender-based violence prevention, especially focused on young women. However, I think there's often a lack of understanding from the public and from the private sector in terms of what does it mean, you know. Is HIV still a thing? Yes, it's a thing.
Very much so, yeah.
GBV is very, like, it's all interlinked. It's all interlinked.
I've been hearing the term one welfare a lot now because of that intersectionality. People are understanding that we can only have healthy girls if we have healthy communities. We can only have healthy communities if we have healthy ecosystem, if we have healthy economies. This wheel keeps turning around. Yet in the midst of all of those numbers are young girls living a reality that most of us would not be able to wrap our head around.
Yeah.
What's life like for a young South African girl right now? Yeah.
So we're sitting at a 60.7% unemployment rate for youth 15 to 24. And then the annual amount, and I'm going to break it down into a daily number, there's 291 births from girls aged 10 to 19 every single day. Every single day. A girl of 10, her body can literally not even, you know, hold another human being. But the thing is, we need to ask ourselves the question, why is this happening? Young women have necessities.
Why is that sacrifice being made?
Yeah, exactly. So, again, with the unemployment rate, access to economic opportunities, she needs sanitary wear, she needs data, she needs a smartphone in order to gain access to opportunities, she needs transport, basic necessities.
She needs a smartphone just to be able to know what's going on at school. Never mind just change her future, just to do one daily thing. She needs that. What is she willing to give away for that cell phone?
Well, if you have nothing to spend, what is your only currency?
Yeah.
And that is the reality, and it's really for us to be responsible, and it's to look at, she has got basic necessities to stay in school, to get that education. But then when we speak about hope, with an unemployment rate, what is that going to look forward? And then couple that with a young woman also wanting the nice in life. And there's
a life, yeah.
And there's these amazing, beautiful, credible, big brands that speak about this lifestyle that you can do anything and you can attain anything. However, what does it look like for her?
The understanding that representation isn't just a nice to have anymore, which we love to use as a marketing strategy or a brand kind of idea. And I'm glad that you're calling big brands on this, because it's one thing investing a huge amount in influencers that sell the story, but it's another thing making sure that your market can actually live that story out loud. We love to call young girls learners, students. Their life doesn't look like that because they are missing basic necessities like sanitary products, which I think should be obviously the baseline. Basic healthcare should be a baseline. How do we bring about that shift? What is the first step?
So, as a local South African NGO, it will take me 100 times more effort to explain to young people that they have access to free services, contraception, the HIV prevention pill, counseling. So I need the voices of these brands that these young women aspire to. So if you're a brand and young females are within your consumer set that you're focusing on, look at her day-to-day life or her consumer journey and what are the steps that she
Those
follows
critical
and
gateways,
necessities.
yeah.
So the first thing is really we need to have a collective voice. We need to promote a new lifestyle that speaks to health, mental health, independence. Secondly, we need to and there's so many NGOs that does amazing things, and there's so many, private sector brands that do well, but we need to collectively come together.
They're sitting kind of on two different polarities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And come together and to say, all right, let's feed it through the right channels. Let's get them access to smartphone, data, transport, food. Often these young women are the head of their households, looking after their siblings. So that in a nutshell is...
Yeah, and I think it has, understandably, there is pushback naturally because we're asking the very fabric of marketing and advertising to change. And I get that. That is a big, crazy thing. But then as the brand who does that, imagine the gravitas, imagine the trust that you're going to build within your future market if you get this right. If you become that brand that they know is the one supplying 80% of sanitary products to young women in South Africa, imagine what that could do for your brand. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it from that perspective. It starts from a socio-economic plug-in point. What is the quickest, and I don't want to say easy because I know this is all fraught with challenge, but to address this, because it feels like there's a purpose-driven opportunity right now. Young people are purpose-driven in a way that I've never experienced in my job. Young women now know what they want and the why of what they want. How do we plug into that and empower them economically? What is the fast track here?
Get involved. And this is really a plea. It's really reach out to NGOs that speaks to your brand. First of all, it is a necessity, but second of all, it makes good business sense.
Exactly.
Because if you had to look at the price of your brand, reality is the price could come with the risk of HIV, the risk of abuse, the risk of unwanted pregnancy, which is often statutory rape, and that's the reality. So my ask would be get involved with NGOs, contact me directly if you want to, however you want to do, but look at how can you look after your future customer base, and where they're going to get that spend, whether you're a necessity brand or whether you're an aspirational brand. Get involved and look after your future consumer base.
Well, let's bring those words back into the real focus: aspirational, inspirational, influencer. What do those actually mean when it comes to the ground floor, to the people that rely on these products? And I love that. But you've just nailed it. When you are selling something in this country, what cost? If someone operating on that baseline level of South African life, what is it costing them to get their hands on your product? Start tying those threads together. I think you'll be amazed. There is an opportunity for you to have a market, an incredibly proud and connected market, but you've got to put in the effort, and now is the time to start. Zonja, we love you. Well done. Shout it out.
Now.
Yes. Woo.
Yeah, we're shouting it out now, and we're shouting a whole lot more because there's time to get excited. Because if you are the host with the most